For this assignment, which is Project 2, your student profiles, you will be looking closely at two different students and trying to get enough information on them so that you understand better how to teach that student. You may use some of the resources that you did in your self-study, or there may be other resources that you want to use. The goal for this is just what can you do to better understand these students so that you can plan effective lessons for them. I would like to say that I've got this assignment due February 1st. Since I'm a little bit late getting started on it, if you need more time, just let me know. But I would appreciate it if you would email me, message me through Blackboard and say you need a few more days. Please make it at least by the middle of that next week so that you don't get behind on your other assignments. I've made a list of the following concepts, and you will recognize these as ones that you used in your self-study. As you look at your student, you may have different ways to look at this, and this is okay. You will notice that I have, by the first four, the personality, learning styles, Gardner's multiple intelligences, and their interest, I have an asterisk by this. You definitely have to include these four areas because I think these four areas give you a lot of information. The following one, you know, these may or may not influence who they are as a student. They may, especially with their cultural affiliation or exceptionalities, their prejudices or biases. I'm going to leave that up to you. You can just get as much information as you can on each one of these students to understand who they are. You'll notice I've got anything else that would add to your understanding of who the student is and how this will inform your teaching. Basically, you're just going to do an in-depth study of them to figure out how can I best teach you, what things work for you best in your learning. I've also included an asterisk here that says for you to consider. What are my biases and prejudices about this student? Be honest with yourself. Be very honest because all of us have biases and prejudices. The most important thing is when you realize this, then you can do something about it. So I want you to take time and think about this. What do I have to recognize in myself that may affect how I teach this student? This is a very important thing for you to consider. Okay, after you do that, putting it all together, so what? I want you to do a reflection thinking about these questions. How does each of these affect how each student learns and relates to the others? As you look at those, their learning style, their personality, uh, their interest, how does this affect how the student learns? Personally, as a strong introvert, I prefer to work by myself. I do not like to work in groups. There are times that I have to work in groups, and I can do that, but my preference would be just to let me do it on my own. Some of your students may feel this way, and you need to recognize this. Look at your students' strengths. Look at your students' weaknesses. Okay, and this question, what do I have to recognize about myself that may affect how I teach this student? You know, all of us look at life through those lens of who we are, and that's why I wanted you to do that self-study to begin with. Okay, then I want you to take all this information and think about how will I use this information to plan effective lessons for this student. And that's where we're going with this. In the future assignments, you're going to be planning specific lessons that will engage and help for effective teaching for each of these students. Okay, when you submit your assignment to me, all I want is your reflection. The reflection is basically a summary of your findings. I don't want you to give me all the data. I just want you to basically answer these four questions and think about what you need to do for each student. So don't turn in your whole project to me. Just the reflection, just your thinking, just your summary of what you found. You have a reflection for student 1 profile and student 2 profile. Some of you ask about submitting a video for your first assignment. I have no problem with you submitting a video, but I am going to limit you to 5 to 7 minutes. On this one, because it's a summary of your findings, I think you should be able to do the video in 5 to 7 minutes. So you are more than welcome to do that, and I welcome your videos as long as it's in a time frame. And I'm trying to keep this one in 5 to 7 minutes. I know my earlier ones would not. You're not going to have a checklist on this one, but basically your checklist is answering these questions and thinking about it and putting it together. The grading will be the same. For 10 points, your work shows time and effort with careful consideration. 5 points, work shows some time and effort and reflects enough to get by. 2 points, work shows little effort and time. And 0, no assignment submitted. So I haven't graded your self studies yet, your reflection on that. I look forward to doing that. So if you have any questions about this, I will post a discussion board thread so that you can ask questions there. Thanks.